All right, so for
Totally
those
fine.
of you that don't know or didn't see my picture post about our team call, this is Jill. Jill and I have met a few times now. We've got to hang out, oh gosh, let's see, Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, Utah. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, a few times. So I'm like the only
Summit,
other coaches that I've
Summit,
met
I'm
in
sure.
Mexico,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we've got our husbands, well, our husbands, her husband and my boyfriend.
Same thing, right?
I always say my husband because I'm like, it's just easier that way.
It is. Yes. We refer to Aaron as your husband too.
Yeah, everybody does.
It's easier for Weston too. He's like a husband.
Yeah.
So.
So they get along really well. We have
Mm-hmm.
daughters around the same age. Jill
Mm-hmm.
was a dental hygienist up until January 1st.
Yeah. December 30 was my last day.
Awesome. So she's been in the
Yeah.
company for about 2.5 years, actively coaching for about two.
Mm-hmm.
She's a diamond coach, and so now she's a full-time coach and mom. So she agreed to jump on and just kind of share some tips and tricks and what she, her story. So I'm really
Totally.
excited. I know I've heard her story, but it's nice to hear from other coaches,
Totally.
They're sick of hearing my story.
I know my team too, for sure. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I've been excited all day to talk to you guys, especially because what I'm going to talk to you about is something that I'm very passionate about. So that makes me even more excited and a little nervous, of course. But I want to talk to you first about my story, like how I got into Beachbody. Before having our daughter, Cecilia, I was an avid marathon runner and ran like 50 to 60 miles a week and did a lot of nonprofit work with an organization that helped women and children who were born with cleft lip and palates because I was born with that and I wanted to give back to the community. So I was very active and always loving to help others, and my avenues of helping others were through my running and my exercise. So while I was pregnant with her, I was of the mindset that after I had her, I would be able to go right back into that. And I didn't realize that she would take over my whole life. It's first child. You had no idea. And I gained like 80 pounds while I was pregnant, which is just crazy to think about. And after having her, I had a really hard time losing the weight, mainly because I just didn't have time to run as much, and I was used to being able to eat whatever I wanted because I was so active before that now I had to figure out how to eat healthy with minimal workout time, and it was really hard. I was struggling, and I didn't have time to do the nonprofit stuff anymore, and I was falling into a depression. I didn't realize it until I got out of it, but I was slowly kind of spiraling out of control. And that's when I met Anita. We met on MyFitnessPal, actually. She messaged me and said that she had a free turbo kit class in the area and asked if I wanted to come join her. And I was like, okay, cool. It's free. I'll go. And I met her. She added me as a friend on Facebook. And immediately I was like, oh, she's a coach. She just wants to sell me something. And I just like totally ignored her for a couple months. And then I watched her transformation and I saw her as the same type of person as me. I saw her dealing with a daughter and not having time and dealing with learning how to eat healthy again. And all of her struggles were the same as mine. And because of that, I decided to join her challenge group. And once again, I said, no way, I'm not going to coach. I'm not a salesperson, blah, 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 all the excuses in the book. So I was a discount coach at first. And I started losing weight very quickly, and I started to run again, and I started to want to help others again and realize that this was a really good avenue to get into helping others with their confidence, just like I was doing before, and tying in with fitness and exercise. And so I went to Anita and I just said, I want to be a coach and sign me up. So she did. And it was like right the day before she was going to Summit is when I signed up. So I watched her go to Summit, and then she went on a free trip the next year, the Success Club trip. And that's when I really started to coach, was when I saw her go on that free trip. I was like, I want a free trip. And so I talked to her and she said, just hit Success Club every month and you'll get there. So I haven't stopped, and this is where I'm at now. We went to Mexico for free last year. And I earned the free cruise. We're still on the wait list. I think we'll probably get off of it, but we're not going to go because of some other things that have come up. But the fact that I earned it was really cool. It's a very cool thing. So today what I want to talk to you about is the power of believing in yourself and never giving up. So if I keep looking over here, it's because where my notes are, okay? And I'm going to start this off kind of weird. I'm going to start off listing all of my failures, all of the things that I have gone through over the past 2.5 years in coaching that have been hard and that really knocked me down. And I want you guys to realize that it happens to everybody. So I went diamond. It took me about a year to go diamond, and then I lost it 3 times before it stuck. So I would hold it for like 6 weeks and then drop it, and then hold it for 6 weeks and then drop it. That happened like 3 times, and now I've held it for a long time. I had just recently 3 emeralds quit, all in one side, all in one leg, and all in 1 week. They just boom, 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 gone. Crazy. I've had challenge groups flop. They've just, you start and nobody posts and everything just goes empty. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? I've had empty webinars where I host a what is Beachbody coaching and nobody shows up. I've had team calls by myself. None of my team members showed up. I've had haters. I've had people comment, people send me personal messages. I've had days where I need to shut off the computer and walk away. I've been told no probably 10,000 times, literally. My sister-in-law unfriended me and stopped talking to me because she disagrees with what I'm doing. And I've lost weight and then gained it back 3 times, and now I'm working on losing it again. So I've gone through all of that in the past 2.5 years. In those 2.5 years, I've watched people come in after me and succeed faster than me. And it's been very difficult. That is what I call failing forward. You fall on your face and you fall on your face and you fall on your face, but you get up and you keep going and you're like, okay, I got this. I can do this. So they always say comparison is the thief of joy. And I totally believe that. So why is it that we compare ourselves to each other? It's natural human instinct. It is so natural to just look over and be like, why is she, all of a sudden diamond, and it took me a year, but she did it in 30 days. What's wrong with me? For some reason, we just compare ourselves like that, and it's so detrimental. So some people move faster than others, and that does not mean that they're better than you. It means that you're at different places in your life, and everyone is on a journey. Some people learn early on in life how to become a leader and how to pound through those hard walls, while other people take a little bit of time. So when somebody succeeds really fast like that, you have to know that they went through a hard time too in their life. It just might not have been with Beachbody. It might not have been at the same time as you, but they went through it and they grew from it, and now they're succeeding because they went through it. So it doesn't mean that they're better than you. It just means that they're at a different spot in their journey. And take that as a blessing for you to see that, wow, if I get through this hard time, I can be as successful as them. So look at it in a positive way and follow those people because they're very inspiring. So I believe that God gave us all talents and strengths. Everybody was formed, however, if you don't believe in God, then however it happened, every single person has talents and strengths, and it's up to you to figure those out. And I also believe that where there's a strength, there is also a weakness. So, for instance, I love to talk, and I'm really good at building a relationship, informing people. As a dental hygienist, that was my job every day, was to talk to numerous people a day and get them to enjoy the dental office so I can hold a conversation really well. But that also means that my weakness is listening and actually hearing when people are talking and not listening to respond, but listening to understand. That's a weakness that I've had to build up. I also love to organize. I love to make systems, and I love to organize closets. I'm just this huge systems girl. But with that, that means I need to learn to do more income producing activities. So organizing is great, and it's awesome to have a system, but if you have no time to use your system, then who cares, you know? And so that is a weakness of mine that I had to learn to get past the organization and actually do something and implement everything that I'm learning. So what I want to talk to you guys about and teach you how to do is how to sharpen your strengths. You know, the strengths that you have, sharpen those, hone those in, make them really pointy so you can just break through stuff with your strengths, and then strengthen your weaknesses so that you can hold yourself up in the hard times. Okay, so now on to the positive part. So you heard all of those negative things that I went through, and you're like, why is this girl talking to us? What does she know? You know? So I've hit Success Club 5 and above 28 months in a row. More than half of them have been Success Club 10. I'm a strong diamond, and I'm growing my leadership skills daily. I am making money. I was able to quit my full-time dental hygiene job. I earned a free trip to Mexico and a free cruise. I'm a turbo kick instructor. I get to be guest speakers on calls, and I enjoy it. And my biggest success is I've grown as a person. I'm much happier. My depression has gotten under control. I've been able to go full circle and kind of get back into me. And it's a very, very thrilling thing. So all of those times that I was falling on my face, if I were to really focus on them, I would not notice all of these huge accomplishments. This is awesome, you know? So there's two things. There's vision and there's belief. Vision is the ability to dream and see your future. So, for instance, that huge Powerball, who all caught up, you know, was watching that, or maybe even bought into some of it. Everybody had these visions of winning and what they would do with the money, you know, and, I would buy an island or whatever. You know, everybody had visions, but that's different than a belief. A belief is knowing that you can get to that dream. So your belief and your vision should be the same, but a lot of times they're not. And if they're not, then you need to work on that and start to grow your belief so that your belief and your visions match up. Because you can. If you have the vision, then you can get there. You just have to believe in yourself. So success should not be measured against others, but against yourself. Set goals to beat yourself this year and then do it. Give it more effort and you will succeed. So you're in this game of life against yourself, quote unquote. You're not here to beat the other person who's going faster. You're here to beat your own goals and continue improving yourself. How to do this? Some action steps for you guys. You need to recognize your strengths and your weaknesses. This is really hard to do. It's actually pretty easy to recognize your weaknesses. If I were to ask any of you and point you out, you'd be able to label off like 5 right in a row. Like, I don't like to do this and I don't like to do that. But your strengths are what you need to recognize as well. And that you're going to need some help with. So follow up with your friends and your family and your team members and ask them, what are my strengths? What do you see me doing that you really look up to? Especially success partners. They'll be able to tell you right away, I love it when you do this. And I wish I was better at this like you are. You need to find those strengths and write them down so that you can look back at them when you're having a bad day. It's huge for your confidence. Personal development. You need to read it. You need to listen to it. You need to watch it. All of the above. And then you need to implement it. It doesn't do anything, doesn't help you in any way unless you actually take action on what you're learning. So for instance, I'm learning about leadership. and I'm reading and listening and watching a lot of videos and books about leadership. And I'm taking notes, and I'm redoing my onboarding process, and I'm implementing all of these things that I'm learning. And if I were not to implement them, that it would just be information in and out. It just doesn't even help, you know. When you're listening to personal development and when you're labeling your weaknesses and your strengths, choose one thing at a time to focus on. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to do this and this and this all this week, because it's not going to happen. We all have lives. We all get busy. So choose one thing. For me right now, it's leadership. So I am honing all of my efforts onto leadership. So find your one weakness that you want to grow and grow it, and only that one. Find a success partner to hold you accountable. That's huge. Who has a success partner? Raise your hand. Almost everybody. Okay, cool. Well, now you all saw who doesn't. Hook each other up. Let's get some success partners. I actually have 3. And we, on Thursday mornings at, 6 a.m. my time, 5 a.m. their time, we all get on a Zoom chat, and we talk about our goals for that week, and we talk about how we're going to implement our goals. And it's huge. These girls are so inspiring, and knowing that I have to mention my goals to them every day or every Thursday terrifies me, but it also holds me accountable. And that's what success partners are for. They're not a person that's going to be like, it's okay, just take a day off. They're going to say, no, this is your goal, work for it. And you need to find a success partner that will hold you accountable. Follow other successful coaches like yourself. So for me, I like to follow people, other coaches who started a little bit slower as well. You know, I've been in this for 2.5 years. I'm still a diamond. That's fine. You know, it's not a race, but I like to find other very successful coaches who did it at the same pace as me. So I can constantly remind myself that it's okay. Just stick with it and you'll make it. If you need help finding those coaches, ask Bree. I'm sure she knows of somebody for every category. Or YouTube it, Google it, you know, like do the research yourself and start following them on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, watch their trainings, etc. And then write down your goals and reward yourself when you hit them. They don't have to be major rewards, but something to tell yourself, good job. Give yourself a pat on the back and be proud of yourself. You all deserve it. Everybody deserves it. Okay, so we are going to do a little, who has pen and paper? Everybody if you don't, please grab some pen and paper. I know one person's on the phone, so if you can't, then don't. But grab a pen and paper, and I'm going to give everybody, all of you, a minute, okay? In your minute, I want to write down everything about yourself that you're proud of. Anything that you've succeeded in life, anything that somebody else has told you, good job. Write down, just everything that comes to your mind, just splat it on that piece of paper. So, ready, set, go. I'm going to give you a minute. I'll tell you when that minute's up. Okay? And I'll go over my list. You too, Bree. Get to work.
I'm like using my notebook, so I'm typing, so I hope you don't think that I'm like messaging.
Oh, no, that's fine. I was totally joking. I do the same thing when I use my Evernote for all of my notes. Yeah, I just type them out.
I'm like just putting them right in so I can share the notes with the team.
Yep. Totally. So think about all the times that you've accomplished something that you really didn't think you would be able to, and things that took you a long time to really, you had to work for them, but you succeeded and you did it anyway. Write all of those things down. And hopefully while you're writing these down, you're feeling amazing. I know I did it earlier and my list made me feel like a rock star. I was like, dang, I can accomplish some pretty cool stuff. So a few more seconds. I see. Oh, okay. All right. So it's been a minute. I'm not going to ask you all to read yours just because there's a lot of us and that would take like, it would be awesome, but it would take a while. But please, if you have a success partner or just share them in your team page after the call, that would be good. I'm going to read you mine though, that I did earlier. So everything that I've accomplished or am proud of, number one on my list was being a mom. That's huge. Being pregnant for 9 months and pushing a baby out. And I actually had an emergency C-section. Just the whole thing is hard. It's very hard. Marathon finisher, very hard. Diamond Beachbody coach, hard. Registered dental hygienist, hard. Raised $7,000 at, I hosted a run walkathon and there was like 40 people there, but we raised $7,000 and I was really impressed. I was a deacon at our church for 3 years and enjoyed it. I bought a house all by myself at age 23 and put 20% down. I started a dance team in our high school that is now like #1 in the state, and that's pretty cool. I quit my dental hygiene job to be an entrepreneur, and I made the dean's list every semester in college. And when I read that, it makes me so happy. I'm like, holy cow. And it makes you realize that you can do anything you want. Every one of those things, for example, when I ran my first marathon, it was not easy. It was this huge, it started out as a vision, and then it became a dream, and then it became a goal. And it took about 9 months to get there. And it took a lot of hours, a lot of pain, a lot of sleepless nights. And it was not easy. A lot of tears, blood, sweat, everything. But I finished and I did it. And then I did it again and again. Same with becoming a dental hygienist. That was years of school, a lot of late nights, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of work, a lot of work. And I did it, and I made the dean's list. So I aced it. A mom, being a mom. Yeah, most of you probably know you lose a lot of sleep. It's very hard. It's a lot of long hours. But we're doing it, and we're doing it very well. So I want you to post this list somewhere as a reminder for yourself. Like post it somewhere or have it in a notebook on your computer that you can look up. And when you are not having a good day and when you feel like, I don't think I can succeed as a coach, like I don't think this is for me, because you're going to have those days. I've had a lot of them. I want you to look back at that list and remember everything that you've accomplished, because your dreams are not too big. You can get there. It's just going to take a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, hopefully not too much blood, but maybe. But you can do it. You already did succeed, and that list is proof that you can do it. So that is what belief is. That's what going for a vision is. And that's everything.
Awesome. I was going to say too, you said, post it somewhere, share something. I've started if it's something that I'm not quite ready to share, and I'm like, okay, I should make a post about this. And I'm like, that just doesn't look right. I'm not ready. Like, I'll post it, but I'll post it only to me. You guys know, like you can switch it to only me. So only I can see it.
Yeah.
And in my head, I get comfortable with it being on Facebook. Or I have it and I can look back. Like it's just, a selfie with whatever the post is.
Yeah.
A photo album. And it's just me. But it's kind of like those thoughts that you're like, I totally don't want to word vomit or say this to Facebook world yet.
Oh, totally.
I'm putting it on there. And so I can go to that file. So I think that could be a good way. Or, tag your success partner and only let it be you and your success partner or coach on our team or your upline. Because it should be something that you see and should be something you should go on Facebook and see. Even if you don't want to make I'm proud of these moments post for everybody to see. I mean,
That's a really good point. I really like that. I'm actually going to write that down.
yeah, I do it all the time. Or if I'm like, oh, I need
Yes.
to post, and I like come up with a post, I'm like, oh, I don't actually want to post that right now. I'll still like post it, but only maybe
Yeah.
put it in that photo album. So, I mean, that's a great way also to just get outside your comfort zone is post
Mhm.
it without posting it, because you get so used to like, oh, well, it's on there. And then it's really not that big of a deal to like click and go and copy paste it and then be like, you know what, I'm going to share it. And I've done that, I don't know how many times with my story before I actually
Mhm.
shared, about anorexia or, depression medication. I would like type it out and be like, oh, and put like only me. So I
Yeah.
post it like, okay, it's out there.
Yes, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I'm loving that.
So
I'm
I
going to
do
share
that
that
a
with my
lot.
team tonight.
Yeah. So I would encourage you guys to do that, or, in our
Mhm.
team page, if
Mhm.
you're not quite ready to get out there, share it on our team page, because there are so many moments that we forget, like Jill shared with, okay, these are all the things I'm doing wrong. And we focus on what we're not doing right and what everybody else is doing that we're like, man, I'm not doing that. So I'm not going to be successful.
Mhm.
But if you can start looking at the stuff that you are so fantastic at and the things that you have succeeded at, it's going to just boost your confidence. It's going to make you feel like, I can accomplish this because I did this, I did that. I didn't think I could do this, but guess what? We got through childbirth, right? Like Jill said, like, you don't really
Barely.
get a choice in that one, but like they're coming whether you want it or not.
Yes.
And you make it through. I mean, there was no way. I got pregnant and was like, there's no way I'm going to have a kid. Like, I do not, but they come
Mhm.
anyway and you can't do anything about it. And I'm like,
Mhm.
20 hours in going, there's no way that
Yeah.
and I did it. So
Mhm.
being proud of all those things, it doesn't matter, if you're a mom or not. There's so many things that we just kind of push past. You're like, oh, well, that was 5 years ago, or that was, old me, or that was somebody different, or I used to be fit in high school, or I ran track this now, that's not me, but it is you and it's your journey. So I think that's so important. And I'm glad you
Mhm.
reminded that of us.
Mhm.
Ugh, I can't even talk tonight. Reminded us of that tonight, because there are so many times that I'll start my day with, oh man, I was going to do this yesterday and I didn't do that. And I'm not, the leader that I wanted to be because of this. But
Mhm.
to be like, hey, it's okay to be in that space. So
Mhm.
super
Totally.
important. Well, I thought it was so motivating to hear your story. I just like your story
Thank
because it's
you.
real. I mean, not that every Beachbody coach isn't real, but there are so many coaches that you see or follow, or you watch videos that I share, guys, and it's like, okay, Amy Silverman, world traveler, like
Right.
wanderlust, perfect photos, and there's so many coaches that just we're moms and we're working our butt off to make that $500 a week, and it
Mhm.
just is inspiring to be like, you came into this with, I know you and I have chatted, about your
Mhm.
physical, journey of being okay with what you look like and sharing that on
Yes.
social media and probably having
Mhm.
haters. Um,
Mhm. It's very
like,
hard.
how do you coach and how do you be a spokesperson for this when you've got that going on? I mean, there are all sorts of
Yep.
nasty people, and it's so
It's
great to have us to support one another, because it's
yeah.
a struggle. Whatever people are saying about you, or whatever, rude comments people have, it's like I can go to Jill
Mhm.
and go, oh my gosh, you understand, because this is psycho. Someone messaged me and was like, how can you be a coach and preach wellness when you're getting fat? And I'm like,
Oh,
well, I'm
yeah.
pregnant, I'm not really getting fat.
There's a difference. Mhm.
But it's like, if anybody wants to tear you down, or if somebody wants to knock you down, it's like you have this network of people. And Jill's
Mhm.
been awesome. I mean, even in Utah, we talked
Mhm.
relationships. It's not just about hitting Success Club. We don't talk every moment about how do you sign challengers. It's so
Right.
much more than that. So
Which
reminding us
is
tonight,
awesome.
yeah, it's just,
Mhm.
I mean, I tell my team all the time, like, I don't know what I would do without coaching. It's not just the paycheck. I mean, the paycheck is
I
great.
know.
I love that it keeps me home, but just the
Yeah.
fact that I can jump online, and I've never had a group of girlfriends where I'm like, I am struggling today. And I can go in my inbox and message a true friend and go, hey, and
Yeah.
it can be non-Beachbody related. And I know that
Mhm.
I have such a support of people there. Um,
Well, And when we were in Utah for the leadership, I was so nervous before going because I'm like, there are 42 diamond coaches. We're all women and we're all very strong women, strong-willed. We're all kind of alike. And I was really nervous about that. And while I was there, I never once heard a negative comment. I never felt like insecure. Everybody was just so nice. And it was like, this is amazing. This doesn't happen.
And we talked rank. It wasn't about, I'm not going to that person, or we're segregated by who's diamond and who's dropped rank. It's about friendships, and it's about, and learning together. So like you said, follow people that, I like how you said, I follow people that aren't on the fast track, because that's not inspiring to you to be like, I'm on a different journey. So
totally. It's really hard for me to watch that because it's like, it's just not me.
What am I doing wrong? It's been 2 years. Why am I not top 10?
Exactly.
Star Diamond.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh.
Well, I have tons of notes. I love hearing a coach's story, even if it's not, hey, step 1 through 5, here's how to be a top coach. Like, it's so refreshing to just hear.
In 90 days. Okay.
No. What is your secret sauce?
Right.
Did anybody have any questions for Jill or want to chime in at all? Or did anybody want to share a moment that they wrote down, since we have some time left? Anybody?
Oh, come on.
Who's going to share a proud moment? I know for me, I was proud to get off medication for depression. That was one I wrote down, because as scary as it is to post about it on Facebook, it's just something that, it was me. And I've yet to post on Facebook because I know there's haters out there to be like, some people need medication.
Yes.
But for me, it was huge. Carrie, you unmuted. Does that mean you're sharing?
Mine's on the same track. A lot of people didn't know I battled anxiety for 7 years, and I was on medications for only like 6 months. It did awful things to me. But since becoming a coach, I have learned how to deal with it. I've actually see a therapist now to really cope with that. I'm not on medication, but I realize I just need someone to talk to that's outside, like family and friends. So that's something I'm about to kind of start talking about on my Facebook. But I might be doing that thing that you said, to post it just to me.
Yeah.
Scary, because a lot of people don't know I suffered from anxiety for many, many years. A lot of my close friends didn't even know it. They just thought I was being like weird and closed off. And I'm like, I honestly don't know how to cope right now. And I'm just going to like sit here until things are better.
Yeah. That's awesome. You've been able to find what works for you, because it's hard.
Yeah.
And to know that it's not, you follow a coach or whatever, and know that that might not be your solution. Like, you can find it as your inspiration or motivation, but it might not be your solution.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Nobody else wants to share what they're proud of? Come on now, team. I could look at every one of you and say what I know you wrote on that paper.
Yes. I would love to hear.
I know.
Just shout it out. Doesn't have to be a long story.
Me, at the team retreat, at the Utah retreat, it's hard. It's it's scary to be proud of yourself, or scary. It almost feels selfish or feels weird, because we've been trained to focus on what we're not good at and what we need to work on.
Exactly.
I know we had that one moment in Utah where it was like, say one thing that you're going to let go of and one thing you love about yourself. And I was terrified. I'm like, it's just a room of 40 women. We have our eyes. Not that I'm going to feel this say it out loud. And I was like,
yes. Yep.
Why am I shaking and crying? Nobody's going to know that said that word.
Another thing I wrote down was when I became a coach, I was really, really nervous about telling people about being a coach. And when I went back to Iowa and saw a couple of my close friends from high school, like, if anybody's going to do this, it's going to be you, because you're so determined. And I was like, I didn't realize other people saw that. I saw it in myself, but I never realized other people saw that, because I was always that kid in the corner that always had I viewed things differently, did things differently. And they're just like, it'll be you. Like, if anybody can make this work, it'll be you. I'm like,
that's awesome.
It was a really good feeling when they said that. I was like, oh, They still have never signed up with me, but at least they believe it.
Well, we have less than a minute, so I want to thank you, Jill, for jumping on and
Thank you, for real.
Giving us some inspiration tonight for, going into a new year. It's like a perfect call to just reset.
Good, I hope so. And anybody can message me at any time with anything, any type of questions. I love to talk.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you, guys.
Good night, guys.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Bye.